You get no respect from me. The only respect you'll get is one time when I'm knocking his teeth out. Put myself as a good man, one of the best. So what's the worst that can happen? Win, lose, or draw, get a black eye, bust up mouth, wanted to turn into a dirty fight. And that was it. The fight ended up a draw, but they still never had one over us. And now we're best of mates. We fought for, about 2 hours and 11 minutes. That was it, beaten fair and square. And that's when the other fella tried getting dirty with my brother.
Give me a time, date, and it's on. Me, you.
Has to happen again.
But it's going my way.
Hi guys, and welcome back to GANGSTER. We're bringing you the most exciting interviews from around the world. Today we're delighted to be in Manchester, another great guest. Today we're delighted to be joined by Dougie, Joyce. Dougie, thank you very much for letting me come up here to see you today.
Yeah.
So as things, everything alright?
Everything's good, brother, yeah.
Yeah, so what about this coronavirus? You been dealing with that alright?
Yeah, not too bad, locking myself off, as you do.
Yeah, indeed. So you've got a nice gym up here you work out of?
Yeah, good gym, yeah.
So today, if possible, I wanted to sort of concentrate on the traveller tradition of the bare knuckle fighting, if possible. And I know you're someone that actually gets involved in that, if that's alright for you. Is that alright?
Yeah, that's no problem, yeah.
And so I wanted to sort of touch back in your childhood and sort of talk about, was it a big family, lots of brothers and stuff like this, or where the tradition from the fighting comes from? Were you fighting from young?
As soon as you can walk, then you just threw out there, so you learn from an early age.
So you was taken to the boxing gym early or anything like this?
Yeah, as soon as I can throw my hands, threw straight to the boxing gym. You learn from a young age.
And what, did you have many brothers?
I've got 7 brothers, yeah, 4 sisters.
And where are you? You the middle? Whereabouts?
The oldest.
The oldest?
Yeah, the oldest.
You're the big brother of the family then?
Big brother, yeah.
And so what about your dad? Was he into the bare knuckle fighting and stuff like this?
Yeah, he done so. He had a few fights here and there. My father was more of a gentleman than a fighter.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And I've heard you mention before your granddad had quite a name, didn't he, for
yeah, my grandfather, yeah,
bare knuckle stuff. So he had a lot of fights, didn't he? And
rough good low ward, yeah.
And was your family always from Manchester ways?
Manchester, yeah, born and bred.
Yeah, nice, nice. And so when was it that you first started actually getting involved in the bare knuckle stuff yourself? When was your first fight?
Child, probably 6-year-old onwards. Running up and down the camps. You'll always get the bully on the camp, and then that's it. You just before you know it, you're out having a few banks.
Indeed.
And if you go back to the trailer, complaining, you get a rap with a brush and send back out.
And so, did you ever have any boxing matches, stuff like this as well as a child? Were you boxing?
Yeah, I've done boxing. Done a lot of boxing. I've done amateur boxing and stuff, schoolboys, ABAs and that. Yeah, so I've got my experience in the ring.
And did you ever consider turning over at all?
I did. I attempted it a few times and had a few bad turnovers with getting involved with the family in the feuds. I've ended up in jail over them a few times.
Okay, can you talk about what led you to get jail at all? Or?
Yeah, just fighting and family feuds.
And so sometimes
basically grasses, sending you to jail.
So sometimes it doesn't get settled then with the fist stuff, it does escalate beyond that.
Yeah, sometimes it's just, we like to settle with the fist, and then if they're not happy to settle with the fist, then we'll go the other way. And then that's when the boys in blue involved, aren't they?
So you know when it comes to the bare knuckle stuff, so obviously sometimes it's to sort problems out, but would ever it be sometimes to, like the best man from a certain family wants to fight?
That's correct, yeah. What's the law is when you get one breed of a family, they'll send the best one out and they'll challenge that one to have a fight. Sometimes it's for a feud and sometimes it's for money. Mainly it's for your name.
Okay. And do you know, if you being the oldest brother, do you always fight for your family, or would it be any other brothers?
Well, the way I've grew up all my life, even if my brothers can fight or not, someone challenges my family, I'm the first one there, fuck that, say, you'll fight me. Because I'll be the first one there straight up to have a fight. I don't ever want to see my brothers in that, but they're all turning to men now, I can't really have that much of a say.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've seen that sometimes money gets involved.
James, grab us a bottle of water over there, will you?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Yeah.
I've seen that sometimes money gets involved in the bare knuckle fights as well.
Yeah, there does be money, yeah.
And so why would that come around, just to put even more?
Sometimes, obviously when you're out training, you're not out working, are you? So you've got to dedicate yourself to training, and you're taking time off from going out and putting bread on the table. If you want to have a fight before they leave and start training, go and drop your money off. That means if you want to back out the fight, you lose your money. If you don't turn up on the day, you lose your money. So that's just a guarantee it's in place. Well, that there's for wasting my time, I'll keep that.
Okay. And so can you talk about what's the most you fought for at times, or the most you've seen other people fight for? How much money would get involved? Is there ever serious amounts in there?
Yeah, there does be a serious amount. It varies. Like I said, Joe, it can be for anything you want.
Okay, and so like you say, sometimes, obviously, hopefully it gets settled when you have these fights, but then sometimes, like you say, it can escalate and stuff like this and turn into different things. And I've heard there's like 2 different types of fights that you can have, whether it's a clean fight or a dirty fight. Is that?
That's right, yeah.
And so what's the difference between the 2 of them?
Well, a clean fight is obviously you're out there, you 2 hands up, fighting like a proper man. That's how they do the fight. Box for box, best man wins. And then if somebody's having it rough and they're getting beaten in a fair fight, then they like to take it dirty. For example, don't want to say his name because he's really a bit irrelevant to me. Yeah, my brother punched his cunt straight in for him, and then he wanted to turn it to a dirty fight, and that was it. The fight ended up a draw, but they still never had one over us, basically.
So was that during the fight
in my eyes,
itself?
still the owner. But go on, carry on.
Sorry about that. Was it during the fight itself you wanted to turn it into a dirty fight? So was it
it was a fair fight to begin with. My brother Joyce fighting some other fella called Johnny, and yeah, it was a fair fight. If you watch the video from the beginning, it's all over the internet. My brother smashed him, dropped him on his arse. Didn't want to know. His arse hit the floor then, and that was it. He beat him fair and square. And that's when the other fella tried getting dirty with my brother. My brother went into that fight unfit, but my brother never backed down from the fight. Too much pride in his body, and that was it. Then it was just dirt from there onwards.
So, how many of these bare knuckle fights have you had? Did you say?
Well, not many on camera, but I've had a good few.
Yeah.
My hands explain a lot of them.
Yeah, that's good. And I've heard you still unbeaten?
Still unbeaten, yeah.
Yeah. So would you sort of call yourself like the king of them travellers up these ways, or?
I wouldn't call myself a king. I wouldn't put myself as a title up there. Put myself as a good man, one of the best.
So, and for you, obviously we mentioned earlier, sometimes would you actively go and pursue fights with other travelling men who are good fighters, or was it most of the times it's to do with
To be honest with
problems?
you, I've never challenged a man in my life. They've always come to me, or they've always tried the little antics, and that's it. It's like, I don't know, their ego or looking for a name for themselves, but I've never challenged a man. But I've never, ever denied a challenge in my life.
Okay, so you know you've got a fight coming up on, is it May the 2nd? Did you say?
May the 2nd, that's right, yeah.
And again, was that you got challenged in this fight?
Yeah, yeah, I got challenged in the fight. He wanted to have a fight with me, and obviously the fella's 8 years younger than myself, and obviously he's come to take what I've got, so I'm not going to let that happen, am I? He wanted to have a fight, and I've accepted the challenge. Give the man his shot, and the best man will win on the day.
Of course.
I'm sure we know who that is as well, don't we?
And is that a case of, was there a problem behind it, or he just wanted to challenge you because of your name, because of...
He wanted to challenge me because he's a louse, that's what he is. Yeah, a nit. Do you know what a nit is? Yeah, that's what he is. And obviously everyone's blowing smoke up his arse, and that's it. Obviously, they've obviously had a bone to pick or a problem, and that's it. I'm going to fix it for him on May the 2nd.
And so the money's been put down now, so it's definitely
the
on.
kicking money's there, yeah. The kicking money's there.
And so you're going to be training hard over the next few months?
I'm going to be training, doing my training, ticking over. I won't train too hard for him anyway, but he can train his arse off. I'll just tick away.
Indeed, and so hopefully, obviously, it will get left then settled on the day. And
no, I'll make it clear. This fight's not to settle anything, whether that's in their eyes. To me, it's to prove a point, but it still stands the way it is.
And is he one of your cousins?
He is, yeah. He's a cousin of mine, yeah.
So were you obviously close at certain points, obviously growing up? And
never been close with him in my life.
No, so it's obviously a bit of animosity there, and he's coming to try and take your thing through.
Basically, it all boils down in my eyes to the name. Doherty wants Joyce. So if Doherty wants Joyce, he's better come and get her money. Because he's not taking my name off me.
And so what do you think these days of, obviously with the internet and all this sort of stuff, this day and age, it's easy for people to make videos who aren't per se fighting men like yourself and put videos up there and cause the antics and eggs things on.
I wouldn't acknowledge anyone. If anyone's out there putting videos up and they want a challenge, go and put your money down, get your fair play man to ring me, no problem, you want to fight, that's it, it's on. So before any training, before I walk into a gym, that's it, the money's got to be down.
And so can we talk about what you actually went to jail for back in the day? Obviously we said this was to do with the people grassing and stuff like this. Was it just the fighting and that?
Just fighting, and then when people's coming unstuck, what's now they phone the boys in blue, and that's it then.
And so I'm guessing that's obviously very much looked
It's a coward's way out, basically. You know, obviously the way I see things, get out there, have a few bangs. What's the worst that can happen? Win, lose, or draw. Get a black eye, busted mouth. That's it. It's done. After 20 minutes, whatever the fight lasts, that's it. It's done. Brush under the carpet.
And where does the traditional travellers settling the disputes with their fists come from? This has been going on for this since the beginning of time, has it? And it's obviously
Yeah, it's been going on for many years.
And so does your...
It's been a traditional for many years for the travellers. That's the way they solve their feuds, fights.
And so your parents, they approve of obviously this way of settling? Like
I don't know no different. That's what we believe in. None of this bullshit with the guns and knives. We don't roll like that. We're nice, normal people.
Yeah, it's a much better way of settling it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And have you ever had any of these dirty fights before?
Yeah, I've had a few what's now off camera, yeah.
Yeah. And so like you said, that is all, anything goes in that. You can bite, you can kick, you can...
Do anything. A dirty fight's a dirty fight, it's a dog fight.
And so the ref won't stop it if one goes on the floor or anything like this?
Sometimes there won't even be a ref there.
Okay. And so there's... Just because I've seen before, you have people there to have it fair play, is it called? So there'll be someone who's a neutral party, is it, in between?
Yeah, that's right. You pick a fair player man that's got a good name, respectable name, like I have, Paul Joyce from Oxford, to show fair play, which will be fair play, that will be the best of fair play. So that's what I want. I want a fair play fight with the challenger I'm fighting. And that's it, I'm going to get a fair fight.
And so is this arranged to be a clean fight and that? So it can't, is it for the ref to stop it from being a dirty fight then?
Yes, that's right, yeah.
And he's there just to make sure, so it couldn't
Correct.
turn to a dirty fight?
No, and if any of them try anything dirty or try and go that way, they've lost the fight. The fight's over.
And so when these happen, you have obviously the ref there doing the fair play, and then what do you do? Take one of your family down there and then take one of...
Yeah, they'll just take a small little group, handful, same as myself. We go meet the referee, he takes us to the place where we're going to fight, and that's it, we'll get it on.
And does it ever end up escalating there and then, like, obviously...
It escalates, but now when you bring the wrong crowd or someone gets upset about it, and then you've got a few more people there, that's an open fight.
Yeah.
And then that's it, it can just turn into a riot.
And so I'm guessing it's important that the ref or the guys there for the fair play is a respected person, then that will avoid people jumping in, or would there be sort of consequences if people do? Then
yeah, when people give the word, then they've got to stand to it.
Okay, and so what's the most amount of money that you've known people fighting for in these bare knuckle fights? Obviously not you specifically, I'm not asking you to incriminate anyone or anything like that, but sort of, will people fight 10 grand or 20 grand when it go?
I've seen a lot more. I couldn't put a finger on it, but I've seen a lot more in a fight.
And so for you, like you said, this is a way of you settling feuds, or probably when people come and approach you, you'll settle it with your fists or anything like this, or is this something that you would do, and you obviously earn money out of it on the side when it's there, but would this something you pursue for money as such?
To be honest with you, I couldn't be fucked with it. It stresses the cunt out of me. Yeah, I just got to do what I got to do. You get all these people who's just trying to make a name for themselves, when I just want to crack on with my life, but it's the life I live, so I can't change what I live. That's just the way I've been reared.
So which part's the stressful part? Is it the actual fighting on the day, or is it the back and forth up into...
No, you just get shitty arses challenging you.
Yeah. And so like, how old are you now, Doug, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 32.
32?
Yeah.
And so when it get to a certain age, like you say, you're getting sort of sick at this age, you've been fighting for years, will it get to a certain point where you'll say, right, I'm done, and one of your brothers will sort of...
I can never say, obviously, if anyone challenges me, I'm going to fight anybody.
Yeah, you're always going to fight?
Always going to fight, yeah. Rather not, but if someone's going to challenge me, I'm not going to back down.
And so like you say, where you're unbeaten and you've got a right name up and down the country, obviously for this bare knuckle fighting, it's sort of catch-22, because obviously lots of people want to come and take your...
Of course I do, yeah.
crown per se, innit? So it's a bit of a problem.
Well, I've got to give him his little moment of glory, innit? That's it now, so... Well, he was a nobody, still is a nobody. Obviously he's coming to try and get a name for himself, doesn't he? Because he's the man, you see, of his little breed.
And so do you think he's been, do you think he actually wants to fight you, or he's been egged on by his family?
I reckon he's had smoke blown up his arse, that he's this, that and the other, and you can do this and you can do that. Just, that's family for you. Boosting him up. Don't get me wrong, the fella can have a few bangs, he can have a fight, I'm not trying to put him down that way. But to be honest with you, I couldn't give two fucks from him.
But obviously if he turns up on the day and has a fair fight with you, as say, and would it be shaking hands and then it's done off?
There'll be no shaking hands after it, no.
So there's obviously deeper problems than that there, but will there be respect gained from him if he turns up on the day?
You get no respect from me. The only respect he'll get is what's when I'm knocking his teeth out.
Indeed. And so, you know where it's the bare knuckle, is it literally bare knuckle? Do you wrap your hands or anything like this? And
Yeah, get your hands wrapped up there at the time. Like I said, this fight is just to prove a point. Go there, turn up, and that's it, it's done and dusted.
And so where would these things normally happen? Would this be on the site or something?
It'd be in a private location.
Private location, not revealed, and then it happens
Yeah.
just forwards. Because do ever the police find out about these things and come break them up and stuff like this?
Yeah, if they can, like if they find it, they'll try and put a stop to it and all that there. There'll be no putting a stop to this. There's only one man in charge, and that one man is going to take us to the location of the fight. Yeah.
So this sort of stems, like you say, from argument after someone died then, and it's...
Yeah, it's just, things just got out of hand. At the end of the day, I don't know whether it's bad blood or someone's got upset with somebody or if they didn't like us. Couldn't really care, to be honest with you. Just going to get it over and done with.
And so, like you say, this is the best way of dealing with problems that doesn't escalate. So there ain't guns and knives involved like this. If people could do it, it's a respectable way to deal with the problems, isn't it?
Well, it's always better, isn't it, what's now, to fight with not going down the roads of knives and guns, because I don't believe in that myself. I always believe in a straight up fight.
And obviously within the community, like say, people at times have snitched and you've ended up going to jail. Is that frowned upon within the traveller community then?
Yeah, travelling community and every other community out there. No one likes aggressivity.
Of course. Of course. Like you say, settle it with the fist and there's don't need to get anyone else involved as long as things don't escalate. And
Definitely. No one likes a rat, do they?
of course, better deal with it as a man, innit? And
That's it.
And so is there any messages you'd want to put out there today to anyone, or
Messages to put out? No, I'm just cracking on with my training, enjoying life. Might go on a holiday next week, I don't know. Very spontaneous like that. But I'm looking forward to me fighting May the 2nd, definitely.
indeed? And so you're going to start training a little bit, obviously leading up to it. You start training.
Yeah,
like
it's going to take me time, trot along, do a few little runs here and there. Just take me time, no rush.
Indeed, and like I said, do you think this is someone you got the easy beating of?
I'd never ever underestimate anybody. That's one thing. I'd never put anyone down or underestimate anyone. Going in there thinking they're this and that there. I class everyone as me equal.
So have you had any real tough fights? Anything like?
Yeah, I've had a few hard fights, yeah. Had a good hard fight for a long, long time. Actually, he's one of my best mates now. Peter Fiore, yeah.
Peter Fury?
Peter Fiore, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What Hughie's dad, Peter?
No. Tyson Fiore's uncle. Yeah, what's our Peter? His son Peter.
Okay. Fair play.
Yeah, we had a fight. And now we're best of mates. We fought for fucking hell, about 2 hours and 11 minutes.
Jesus Christ. And so what was, can you talk about what that was over, or was that just a case of...
There's a lot of gas in there, people talking shit. We're young men. And that was it. Just plenty of testosterone flying around, so you know.
And that's sort of the ideal way you want it to end. Like you say, you had a fight like men.
Shook hands.
And now obviously you've got
a good relationship, yeah.
Relationship, and that's the way it should be, isn't it?
He's a good man, good family. Got a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, indeed. I've been up to Peter's and to interview him and seeing Hughie and that up there. They're real nice gentlemen, aren't they?
Gentlemen, yeah.
So like I say, it's because there's fascination, isn't there, with the bare knuckle fight. And like you say, it gets so many views and stuff like this on the internet, and so everyone's obviously fascinated in the ways and the cultures and stuff like this. And maybe, obviously, if your people could take a leaf out of the travelling community's book and you see all this stabbings and stuff like this at the moment.
Yeah, of course, it'd be good. I learned a lot back in the day. Obviously I've done a lot of fights on the scraps, on the streets, boxing here, gym to there. And then I walked in one day with my father, because he always on my case to make me train. And I walked into a gym in Droylsden, got into this fucking elevator, like something out of an old gangster movie, with all the pictures and everything, yeah. Coming up, walked into the doors, and then I met a man called Wayne Barker. I was 15-year-old, walked in, gym bag, and he just said, "No, all right, mate, yeah, can I help you?" Just sat there, I'm here to train. That was it. Didn't blink an eye, go in there, get changed. I started doing all these boxes in. And that was it then. He ended up taking me under his wing, signing me up, and then I had a few fights with Wayne. And the man trained me like fucking, basically taught me everything I know, more or less. What a trainer, what a man. Legend of a man.
So Wayne was your sort of mentor within the boxing and the fighting?
Yeah. He was one of them, he was like your backbone. Yeah, he'd give you that kick in the arse, because you could always feel him breathing down your neck. Standing there, even if you weren't looking at him, you can feel him looking at you. He knew his job.
Yeah, that's what you need in a trainer, isn't it?
Oh,
Someone who can instill that little bit of fear.
Blood, sweat and tears was his favourite thing in the gym.
And so unfortunately, rest in peace, is Wayne passed away now?
He's passed away now, yeah.
Yeah, because I saw you at the gravestone, was it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And so when did Wayne pass away? Was it just old age, was it?
Yeah, what's now? He passed away. 2012 one again, yeah. 2012. Was it May? May, yeah. 2012.
Rest in peace to Wayne.
Rest in peace to Wayne.
And so was he the one who was trying to push you to sort of get into the professional stuff?
I was in there with Wayne. He has all sons. They were getting beasted. We all come best of mates. Goes on, Jesus, over 10 years. And now we're still training together. We're all in the training camp together, and we're all reunited. It feels good.
Nice.
Feels like we're back in his club again, even though he's not here, but he's there.
And so do you regret not ever taking the boxing side of it more seriously and trying to turn pro? Is that one of your...
I should have done, yeah. What's now? But I had that many things going on in my life. It's easy saying should have done. Woulda, shoulda, coulda. One of them things. And
so how about yourself in terms of children? You've got 4 boys, haven't you?
I've got 5 boys.
5 boys. Congratulations on that. And so you...
And a little girl on the way.
Congrats again. And so do you want them to sort of follow in your traditions of the fighting and bare knuckle fighting? Would you happily push them into it?
I'd like them to look after themselves, train themselves, so they're, do you know what I mean? So they can look after themselves on the street. But I wouldn't push them down that road. I want a better life for them. I don't want them coming up to the same life that I've had, because it's not really a life for the children.
In terms of obviously where it escalates and there's problems in between.
I'd like them to have this normal, healthy life, proper jobs. Do you know what I mean? Away from all this shit.
Yeah, and so in terms of, you didn't go down the boxing, what do you do for work-wise and stuff?
I build chalets and, I mean, from the chassis, do you know what I mean? We take orders and just, I do a little bit of jobs here and there.
And like you say, there's a little bit of money that could be earned when you have these.
Yeah, just keep yourself taken over.
Indeed, and all right, well, like I said, I'd like to really thank you for having obviously the opportunity for having me come here today, and obviously hopefully if we can come back at certain points and see you training over the next couple of months, maybe do a couple of them leading up to the fight would be special. And is there anything you'd like to add or anything you'd like to put in today, Dougie?
Yeah, would you like to have a few words? This is my brother, Johnny.
How are you doing, Johnny? All right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad.
Perfect.
Just want to put one thing straight. I had a fight with Johnny Doherty, yeah? Scumbag, that's what he is. Yeah? I bet him fair and square. I was unfit, 19 stone, bad leg.
Yep.
Supposed to be a fair fight, didn't get no fair play. But I'm telling him now, there's no 19 stone here now. There's no unfit now, right? Get out, give me a time date, and it's on. Me, you.
Has happened again.
But it's going my way. Not Johnny Doherty, Johnny Joyce fight like happened down there. My way. So, it is what it is.
I'll introduce it to the boys as well. James, this is Wayne Barker's son, James.
Perfect.
How are you doing, everyone?
How you doing?
Not too bad.
This is Wayne's other lad, Kane Barker, and James Barker.
So how we doing, boys? All right?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Not bad. So it's nice, obviously, you kept such a close-knit circle, like say you've got a lot of respect for their dad, and it's obviously nice, close family bonds and stuff like this. And you're all training together.
Yeah. Training, sparring every day.
Nice. Yep. Nice, that's what it's about, isn't it? So, and like I said, we haven't even touched about how important is family to you, Dougie?
Everything. We come from a family well respected, and we're there for all the young ones, mother, father, everything.
That's what it's about, isn't
Family's
it?
number one, yeah.
And so, you say you got the 5 boys. Any of them boxing already?
Yeah, my oldest lads are all big. They're getting big now. Every one of them can box. Spread into them.
Nice, nice. Well, like I say, much appreciate the opportunity and let me come down here today, Dougie. Yep. And hopefully we can do it again soon, and obviously see the lead up to the fight on May the 2nd. Yep. And so, like I said a minute ago, Dougie's fight, you're willing to put down money. Is there any limit that you're...
There's no limit to any money. Our team are winning. We're coming best off on the day.
We take any currency over here.
And they can have any odds. We'll match anything they want to put to the table.
And so, like you say, you always do it the same way. You give it to the neutral person in between, and it's all done properly.
Well, me and my brother will be holding all the bet money. So anyone that could put it down, can put it with us. And then on the day of the fight, that's when it'll be coming out.
So anyone, get in touch with them and let them know.
Well, like I said, the fight between me and the challenger, it's not about money. It's about pride and name. So we'll keep it that way, and firm team.
So he's down here with the whole team.
the blood's a bit thicker in this corner,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we all talk the same. Just remember that there's no cheap mouths in this corner.
Now, all of us need fight dates as well. We're good to go 7 days a week. Anytime, anyone wants to make a phone call, make a call and call anyone out. We're ready. Simple. No two ways about it. Stand on fucking bang. Say no more.
That'll do.
So like I said, thank you very much, Dougie. Thank you very much, boys.
Yep, no
And
problem.
we have this going out
No worries,
next
well, I'll
week.
be waiting for your call. Let me know.